The Dodgers and President Andrew Friedman have once again pulled off a move that borders on the insane. They have secured arguably the biggest price of this offseason's free agent market, Kyle Tucker.
Honestly, I never genuinely imagined Tucker ending up in Dodger blue.
Shedar. Tet was definitely considered a top-tier target, the conventional wisdom, especially given the Dodgers' existing luxury tax payroll constraints, suggested they would be priced out.
Teams like the Mets and the Blue Jays seemed to be the more logical landing spots.
But the Dodgers, truly proving what a modern-day baseball empire looks like, successfully snatched Kyle Tucker. Let's break down this absolutely mind-boggling transaction and how it came to be.
Skedar. To fully grasp the magnitude of this deal, we must first examine the contract details. The total contract size is 4 years, $240 million.
This is an absolutely monumental FA signing, valuing Tucker at roughly 353.7 billion Korean won, an all-time historic contract.
While the total term is 4 years, the contract reportedly includes opt-outs after the second and third seasons.
Shedar. Given the money involved, it seems highly unlikely Tucker would exercise those, but they are contractual features nonetheless.
Shedar. This means Tucker will earn a colossal $60 million per year.
In terms of nominal value based on the contracted amount, this is historically the second highest average annual value ever, trailing only Shohei Ohtani's $70 million AAV. However, like Ohtani's deal, this contract involves deferrals. The Dodgers are deferring $30 million of the total contract amount.
Excluding that deferred money, Tucker's effective AAV comes out to a staggering $57.1 million.
This effective AAV is actually higher than Shohei Ohtani's practical annual salary, which is roughly $46 million after accounting for his massive deferrals.
It also surpasses the $51 million AAV Max Scherzer received from the Mets last year. By real-world payment standards, Kyle Tucker is now the highest-paid player in the history of Major League Baseball.
The scale of this agreement sent shockwaves through the baseball community, both domestically and internationally. Outside of the Dodgers fan base, you could almost hear a collective groan across the other 29 clubs, all wishing to unify against Los Angeles.
Shedar. Even here in the United States, the reaction has been one of utter astonishment, fueled by the question of how to possibly contain the Dodgers' limitless financial power.
Let's momentarily focus on the star of this deal, Kyle Tucker. Does Tucker truly warrant this historic price tag?
Shedar, now undoubtedly an exceptional player. Since establishing himself as a regular with Houston in 2021, he has consistently displayed all-star caliber talent, providing outstanding production year after year.
However, objectively speaking, he is likely not a 57 million AAV player. From 2021 through 2025, Tucker averaged a strong 146 WRC plus and accumulated a total wins above replacement of 23.4.
While fantastic, that WAR total places him only 10th across the entire league during that time frame. Shedar, tốc độ ranks number 1, nhưng statistical presence ranks 10th. Disparity này là notable. Truly dominant, market-shifting presence ranks Shohei Ohtani và Aaron Judge. Ohtani leads the pack with a combined 44.4 WAR, followed closely by Judge at 42.8. Juan Soto, who ranked third in overall value, sits at 30.7 WAR.
Shedar. The numbers suggest that Tucker is not the type of player who single-handedly dominates a championship narrative. He is a great player, but the salary he commands is excessive relative to his production.
Yet this is the nature of a highly competitive auction system.
Results are often determined not by intrinsic value, but by situational pressures. The desperate competition among the Mets, Blue Jays, and Dodgers, the scarcity of comparable outfield talent available, and most importantly, the Dodgers' singular, unyielding desire for a three-peat.
These dynamics converged to create this record deal.
Now, let us turn our attention back to the Dodgers. The organization has pulled off something few could have predicted. They have genuinely demonstrated what it means to overpower the market purely through financial brute force.
Sheda, while the Dodgers have always been a high-spending, high-earning club, the version we see post-Ohtani is operating on a different plane. They are relentless and merciless.
Và what is truly frightening is that they have no intention of saving their overflowing coffers.
Sheda, strategy is clear. Maximize championships while Ohtani is healthy and while Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman are still playing at an elite level.
They want to deliver the success Ohtani sought when he first signed on.
As we noted in previous coverage, the Dodgers' current financial situation is explosive. In 2025, the estimated total payroll plus luxury tax payments reached approximately $585 million.
Yet, the Dodgers' projected revenue for 2025 is estimated to hit a staggering $1 billion.
Sheda, this leaves them with a surplus of over $400 million, and they anticipate even greater profits in 2026 following 2 consecutive championship seasons.
The conclusion is simple. They can afford it. The stadium is truly a land flowing with milk and honey. This financial certainty allowed the Dodgers to make the unparalleled bid for Kyle Tucker.
It is worth noting the real cost of this acquisition. Because the Dodgers have exceeded the competitive balance tax line for 3 consecutive years, they are subject to the highest possible penalty, an additional 110% tax on the amount they exceed the threshold.
Sheda, this means Tucker's $57.1 million effective salary is multiplied by the 110% surtax, adding approximately $62.7 million in luxury tax payments. The real annual cost for Kyle Tucker is around $119 million.
This is an unimaginable figure for almost any other franchise. For comparison, the entire payroll for the Cleveland Guardians across 40 players is roughly $117 million annually.
The Dodgers are spending more on one player than the Guardians are on their entire Major League roster.
Shedar, the sheer scale is overwhelming, prompting us to ask again, is Tucker worth this astronomical expenditure, especially when he isn't a market-defining force like Judge or Ohtani?
The answer from Dodger management is likely an emphatic yes.
Sheda, in fact, the price tag isn't strictly because the player is Kyle Tucker. It is because at this moment in the free agency timeline, the elite outfielder available for auction happened to be Kyle Tucker.
Skadar, if the player had been Juan Soto, Bobby Witt Jr., or Corbin Carroll, had they become available, the Dodgers would have undoubtedly offered them a similar, unprecedented mega deal.
Sheda, they didn't need Tucker specifically. They needed a piece that would bring them one step closer to guaranteed victory.
Sheda, the Dodgers are demonstrably stronger now. The potential lineup is terrifying. 1. Shohei Ohtani 2. Mookie Betts 3. Freddie Freeman. 4. Kyle Tucker. 5. Will Smith. 6. Teoscar Hernandez. 7. Max Muncy. 8. Andy Pages. 9.
Tommy Edman. This completed hitting lineup is bordering on ridiculous. Looking purely at offensive output, no other club among the 30 teams can confidently say they possess a stronger batting order right now.
This is a roster built only to win championships.
Sheda, why we must wait for the entire pitching staff to gel và cho việc phát triển tự nhiên của mùa giải khi đánh giá tổng tác lực heading vào năm 2026. The LA Dodgers là undeniably the overwhelming favorites, occupying Tier 0.
Moreover, the acquisition of Tucker carries an added tactical benefit. The Mets and the Blue Jays, the two primary contenders who desired Tucker, are immediate threats to the Dodgers' dominance.
Shada, by denying them a key strategic piece, the Dodgers indirectly boost their own championship odds. This was a highly effective and calculated use of capital.
For many fans, however, this situation is far from ideal. The luxury tax, intended to maintain competitive balance, appears to be no more than a minor speed bump for organizations like the Dodgers and the Mets.
There's an ongoing debate about whether the use of deferrals is the core problem.
Sheda, why Otani's 90% deferral was an unprecedented anomaly. The existence of deferrals generally doesn't skew the competitive field significantly.
Sheda, the greater question is whether implementing a hard salary cap, as proposed by Commissioner Rob Manfred, could mitigate this imbalance. Before discussing feasibility, we must recognize that a hard cap will never be approved by the Players' Union, as it would inherently restrict player salaries. Furthermore, big market clubs like the Yankees, Phillies, và Dodgers, who wield significant influence, would also likely oppose it.
The current luxury tax system also benefits smaller clubs, as the revenue collected from tax penalties is redistributed to them.
Therefore, they have little incentive to push for a complete structural overhaul, like a salary cap. If eliminating the imbalance is realistically impossible, what steps can be taken? The most practical approach is to strengthen the existing luxury tax structure. This could mean increasing the punitive tax rate or adding more severe penalties. Currently, the most tangible non-financial penalty is the loss of draft positioning. Exceeding the tax line leads to a 10-spot drop in the first round.
Shada, liaison. For example, if a team has the 30th pick, they drop 10 spots and forfeit the first-round pick entirely, starting the draft at pick 42. Shada, if this penalty were made cumulative, for instance, losing a draft pick entirely for every year the fourth CBT line is breached, even the tax-immune clubs might pause. The threat that truly scares these massive franchises isn't spending more money, but crippling the team's future pipeline.
Shedda. The Kyle Tucker deal forces serious reflection.
Skeda, while it is exciting to watch player value soar, and while I personally believe super teams can boost league-wide interest, the increasing severity of competitive imbalance shown by the Dodgers and Mets is a critical concern.
One thing is certain, the market ceiling has been irrevocably raised. Going forward, the next top-tier FA, be it Tucker, Soto, or anyone comparable, will demand similar figures. Simultaneously, we will likely see fewer franchise stars who spend their entire careers with one team, a la Jose Ramirez.
Shadar. Just as the global soccer market has been reshaped by massive oil money, Major League Baseball's financial landscape has been fundamentally altered by the emergence of investor-driven club owners and the Ohtani contract.
Now, all eyes turn to 2026. Can Kyle Tucker deliver under the tremendous pressure of this historic contract? And can the Dodgers truly complete the unprecedented money game by achieving the three-peat?
We wait with bated breath.